Let's play some Deadguy Ale, chat. Deadguy Ale, black-white tempo, black-white mid-range fair stuff, whatever you want to call it. We've got some Thoughtseizes, we've got some Inquisitions of Kozileks, we've got some Skyclave Apparitions and Spellbinders and some other disruption. We've got things like Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, as well as Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants, to generate a little bit of card advantage. I think Baneslayer Angel, as well as Lyra here on the sideboard, are in pretty decent spots against the aggressive decks in the format. We've got things like Thalia and Reidane to be disruptive against the control decks in the format. And then we've got some Silverquill Silencer. It's just kind of an okay creature to beat down with. That also is a little bit disruptive in a way. We've got some various utility lands in the mana base. So this deck plays 26 lands total, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these lands provide utility at various spots. So we only have 18 lands that are just lands, which is nice. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels. In the past, I've liked this deck or felt it was fine into the control decks. There is a chance that rather than Silverquill Silencer, we would rather play a Danto Vanguard to hedge Jeskai a little bit more. T-Max, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Well, I can put my headphones on because this application has sound like a real video game. How do you decide whether Baneslayer Angel or Lyra goes in the main deck? Well, if your deck doesn't have any angels in it, Baneslayer Angel's just better, right? Because it has protection from dragons and demons and stuff. The upside to Lyra over Baneslayer is... Ooh, they're also a Thoughtseize deck. Wellspring. Could be 5-color Niv. 5-color Niv might be challenging for us. Could be food. Food is hard for us. No, it is 5-color. 5-color Niv has been very popular because it is a greedy deck to pair with the greed of Jeskai. Dr. Mr. Punny, thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. This deck doesn't leverage Brainstorm, but it gets to play Expressive Iteration. It's another very powerful card. I think I just Thalia and then Reidane here. And then next turn, we can Thoughtseize plus attack with Blinkmoth. Can a mod make a command for the chat overlay for today that was here a second ago to hear me explain? Appreciate you. Okay, nice. Now we can Thoughtseize plus Spellbinder because they got rid of our Thalia. Huh. So they can't currently cast Helix, but they also, like, don't have ways to, like, my graveyard's only gonna have two cards after this Thoughtseize, right? I think I take the Helix and then I Spellbinder their Teferi. Hyper Fencer, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate the support. Welcome back. So they currently can't do anything other than draw this if they didn't draw something useful. And because they tapped off with the Drown, I get to attack with Blinky here. Getting to see our deck. I mentioned that our deck is a tempo deck. Getting to see us tempo our opponent very elegantly this game. The moose is loose, chat. The moose is loose. Getting to see Blinkmoth come in clutch there a little bit too. This is the reason we had a 2-turn clock there at the end. Okay, so Skyclave Apparition, obviously not great here. Duress is fine. Honestly, our sideboard's kind of bad for this matchup, huh? Why not pump Blinkmoth? Read Blinkmoth. I'm not sure what you think it does, but it doesn't do what you think it does. probably just Noxious Grasp, right? They're a Teferi deck. This kills Teferi and it also kills Niv and Wellspring. I don't think Archon is good enough. It can pump itself. Come on, Philly. You've played Affinity. You should know what this card does. It can't pump itself when it's attacking. They don't have that many small spells. Like, I have a lot of cheap spells too. Archon does diddle their mana. That's true. Diddling their mana is relevant, potentially. Alright, I'm in for the mana diddling. What's the trim? We're on the draw. Can I cut a land? How greedy is it to cut a land? I'm starting on 26. You're missing Ajani. You can play Rankle if you have them, or Gonti. Or other reasonable substitutions for Ajani. I believe Gontis are rare. You might have Rankle from something else. If you have access to both, I think I prefer Gonti. Gonti's a real good card. Should have been greedy and bottomed the land, chat. For fuck's sake. Okay. I mean, at least this card's great. We get to clock them. I think 4-mana Saurian's not a good choice. I think I'd rather play Gonti or Wrinkle. I assume they're going to Clarion here. Huh? I think I'd take a trophy and leave them the more expensive card. Good chat. Opponent very cleverly left the card that mattered on top of their deck. Strong play. Not that we could have duressed that one anyways, right? That wasn't a Thoughtseize. Listen, chat, Magic is a low variance game where the better player frequently wins, okay? Hand's pretty good. Needs a third land, he says, before he duresses into triple sweeper again. So we're going to lose our duress, I assume, to make us play in the dark. Hopefully we draw Thalia. Generally correct to always grab your discard with discard. No, it's contextual based on what else is in your hand. I think this is better than this. It's close though. Because they chose not to take the Duress, so like... And then honestly, I think we just do this and smack them for 6. It could also be that I want 4 Thalia in my 75. I mean, Loxodon, Smiter style effects in Historic. Nullhide Ferox. I think I got a spot check for a Clarion here. Do sponsors find me or do I find them? Usually people reach out to me. I'm big enough at this point that people find me, and I also just like I don't need the sponsor money to survive. It's just like a nice extra. Majority of my income comes from subscribers, so I have an agent or something. So F2K, the esports organization I'm a part of, they find sponsored deals with some consistency. For fuck's sake. Me and the top of their deck has been brutal. And this is like, and this is like a good example of like kind of the illusion of choice, right? Like, I played a discard spell, but like they just had like both games, right? Like both games I played a discard spell, and my choice with the discard spell didn't really matter because all of their cards effectively did the same thing. It's like, which of these 3 Doomblades do you want? Yeah, the opponent's deck isn't Jeskai control, but it's very Jeskai control X. The exhaustion with the current format is largely due to the fact that, like, it's not just Jeskai, it's just everything is so controlling. So many of the best decks in the current format just don't care about you playing to the board at all. And it feels bad. Sucks that they get to kill my Siphoner before it draws a card here. Guess we should have played Thalia to play around Expressive Iteration. Maybe they care more about Reidane and they kill her instead. Deal. Yeah, Vale, honestly, and that's why, like, it's so frustrating hearing people talk about things like Veil of Summer and Field of the Dead being too good, because, like, those are exactly the types of things we need to fight the types of decks that these are. No, there really aren't, Ninty. Like, there's like shifting Ceratops to a degree, but they have a lot of tools that are good against those. Iteration's super powerful, and I get that we won that game, but it's just like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting is the descriptor. I don't think this deck is terrible in these matchups. We got that going for us at least. Going. Well, Veil costs 1 mana. You're right that Veil's not playable at 2 mana generally. Maybe some amount, but hey, thanks for the bit speed, Z. I agree that Deadguy Ale is sweet. weird that they didn't play a black source on one. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known, should have known, should have known again. I agree with that too, Dr. Strapani. For the record, I don't think unbanning Veil or Field is a good idea. I think I'd rather they de-escalate the format. I would like to see both Expressive, Iteration, and Brainstorm removed and go from there. The Twitch overlay not working. It should be. It claims to be working. Did they draw another untapped black source? They didn't. Okay. Well, the good news is their Thoughtseize is still dead now because I haven't drawn any spells. We got that going for us. Come on, cast Thoughtseize. I need my free shock. They say you can't play around Thoughtseize, chat. Just don't draw lands. Just don't draw spells, duh. In fact, I'm going to continue playing around Thoughtseize and play the Skyclave Apparition rather than pumping. They didn't draw their Wellspring, so they likely have a piece of removal here. I want to just keep my hand empty to make their Thoughtseizes bad. This card basically doesn't have text, it's just Grey Ogre in this matchup. That is the least tedious control matchup. I don't know that that exists. This is a new matchup. And this gets them the 5th land for Niv-Mizzet for next turn. They can't kill Baneslayer. She's a 3-turn clock. Oh, I forgot to attack with Blinkmoth Nexus. We'll see if that punt comes back to haunt me here. End up 1 point short, it's on me. Okay. I mean, the best control payoffs do kill you. The problem with the control decks isn't that they don't kill you anymore. Like, Shark Typhoon kills you real fast. Niv kills you real fast. I'm sad at myself that I missed my 1 point last turn. Have I played the opponent's deck? I have not. We've played various 5-color Niv-Mizzet decks. We haven't played this specific iteration. That's been popular. I think I'm just making a token this turn. I agree that 5-mana Teferi is a king of garbage time. They untap with 5-mana Teferi at garbage time. There's some context, but yeah, generally speaking, they untap with Teferi or in garbage time. If they're low and your deck like has burn spells or something. They play the one card we could target, and they decide to play their discard spell. Sedge. This card's so hard to race. Got me. Is Klothys garbage time? Nah, not at all. I completely disagree to the people that are saying we've guaranteed to lose. I agree that we're behind, but we're just like, we're a Skyclave Apparition away from being in the game. We're a second flying threat that sticks around away from being in the game. They can continue drawing discard spells and lands, like... The thing that you don't understand, chat, the thing about Teferi that puts you into garbage time is the fact that it creates overwhelming card advantage that draws more card advantage. Hey, look, chat, it's another card that keeps us in the game.
I am proud.
I'm gonna put 1/1 counters on these two.
Strength is born of struggle.
One good draw deserves another, I suppose. Now that's garbage time, right? I do like putting 1/1 counters on Blinkmoth Nexus too. It's a big ball drifter. I'm pretty sure we cut this, even though they have a couple of Klothys. For people that are new, I see people asking, what is garbage time? Garbage time is when the game is over, I can no longer win the game, but I'm not going to actually lose for several turns. So I'm allowed to continue taking game actions, but they don't matter because I can't win. I'm just wasting time. Yeah, it's a sports ball term. You want to get this going, get her charged up. She draws half a card a turn, basically. I think this Triome is a spell, right? And now the question is, what is this Silverquill Silencer naming? I think it's just binding, right? There's a part where they draw Deafening Clarion, and we concede. Okay, we're in a great spot. Tempo deck doing tempo things. Choosing not to play this out and instead use my mana to pressure with these to play around like an Extinction Event or another 4-mana sweeper here. I'm not gonna attack with the second one, and I think instead I'd rather just cycle my Triome this turn. They're pretty close to dead, right? Noxious Grasp is lethal. You had 2 draws at that. Aren't they dead if we attack with all? No, I think I want to trade my 3/2 for 2 points of damage here. Means they're dead through these. Well, I guess they have enough mana to K command plus drown. They have the colors to do that. Does just Gulligan's command keep them alive? It does, right? We start by attacking. Yeah, K command shatters and shocks, chat. You got me. I've discarded a card. I've been played. Alright. Unfortunately, Spellbinder can't swim here, but... Okay, so they need a live top deck, right? They're at 1, so they have to kill this with sorcery speed removal, and they're dead to Blinkmoths. Come on, one brick. So 2.5 years, Sunshine. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Please concede. They have a bunch of redraws for Helix. No, they can't shock in a land because they're at 1. That's lethal, right? We kill 1, and then they block 1. I could take some info on the way out the door. So we have a 3rd game here still. Pour one out for my boy Blinkmoth Nexus, chat. Also, hats off to Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. Menace is the real deal. That keyword comes up a lot. I'm happy with how we boarded. We just run it back. I mean, to be fair, her sleeves are glinting because she's basically got claws, right? He's got like some Wolverine style thing over the overarm here. I guess. Would Tide Hollow Sculler be played in this deck? Maybe. That's probably better than the 3-2 than Silverquill Silencer. I don't know that we can ever beat this card, so I guess we just like hope they don't get there. Cycle Soul's Modern, thank you. I did press a pick. Yeah, there's a top 5 video up for that. At least the Thoughtseize bug was on our side this game. Draw your moose. Also working against us though as well. Never forget, chat, the shuffler is as rigged as the earth is flat. Alright, well hopefully they just keep drawing 5 mana spells and never draw another land, because I actually just can never beat these cards. Please never draw a green source. Winota is unbanned in Historic. Brawl, chat. Historic Brawl. Sorry, did I stutter there? I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to get anybody excited. Oh, life's a bitch, ain't it? Life's a bitch. All right, so I think we actually name Wellspring here, because if they draw a non-green source, they can cast Wellspring. Hopefully they just draw another 5 mana spell and pass, and we get to attack them. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is rude. You and me both. I'm mad too, chat. Get mad. All right, so I think it's better to make a castle token than attack with Blinkmoth here, right? All right, so Silencer is dead. Really? You should kill the... I guess the Silencer doesn't fly. All right, choice. For fuck's sake. Is this like their only untapped Greenland? Can someone look up the average deck and tell me how many untapped Greenlands they have? They have Overgrown Tomb too. I got it. I got it. I think we needed an miss for like one more turn. Yeah, and like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna play some more Historic today, but there's a good chance while the Historic ladder is constant control, we only do one Historic deck a day. We'll mix in some cube drafts and stuff, but this format's pretty exhausting at the moment. Hey, look, chat, is it the same 3rd deck in a row? I mean, as far as metagame choices go, the Wellspring deck is a very good choice. It's very good against Jeskai control. Yeah, it's actually just the same deck for a 3rd time in a row. Chat, for those of you that are suggesting I change formats to standard after playing against the same deck for a third time in a row, stop it and get some help. I name Lightning Helix here, and then we'll get Deafening Clarion next turn. Standard looks the same as the last time we played Standard, just as a point of reference. Wow. Oh, they can't. I was like, they didn't Vanishing Verse it. They can't Vanishing Verse it. So we'll take Binding. Because it's multicolored. Could Regisaur be good? Are you talking about Rotting Regisaur? Because that card's awful against control. Against control decks, Rotting Regisaur reads, please 2-for-1 me. It might be quick enough to race down this Nymph here. This has Menace. Like, they have to shock to cast this. They go to 5, and then they're dead, right? Block and take 5 exactly. Is playing Reidane on the artifact side, I consider. What does the artifact side do? They generally speaking have plenty of mana. I want a Ajani, please. It's fine. Alright, well, I mean, at least we have our sideboard planned down. 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. Skyclave Angel land out. This is our 3rd match in a row against the same deck because the opponent's deck is the best thing you could do into a field of people being controlling. The opponent's deck is the natural conclusion to the question, how big and greedy can I get when everybody's getting big and greedy? I'm gonna lead on Thoughtseize, so maybe Glint-Sleeve Siphoner can survive. And again, just like, you know, this is how bad our discard spells have been in this matchup is really an excellent commentary on kind of the struggle of trying to do stuff in this format, right? Like, they're just all the same, right? Like, all your spells get memory lapsed, all your spells get helixed, and they don't even just have helix, right? They have all of these vanishing verses. Everybody disappears down here. I'll float down here, Georgie. It's a decent draw, maybe, he says before he sees 3 more discard spells, removal spells. Yeah, like, yep. Yep. So, do I take Vanishing Verse so that way I can get Glint-Sleeve back with Ajani after they kill it? I think that's the line, right? We take their one that exiles since I have this. I do get 2-for-1 by the Culligan's command, but kinda is what it is. 100%, Noel. So what's happened in the current standard environment is something that happens very frequently, and it's natural even if it does suck to watch it happen, is that what's the word that I'm searching for? The current standard environment had a power level downswing. So Eldraine was like a peak power level for standard, and as standard's gone down in power level, Eldraine lords over these weaker sets. But like Zendikar, Kaldheim, the most recent set, Strixhaven that I'm forgetting the name of, all of these sets had sweet power levels and good designs in them, in my opinion. They just can't stand up to what Eldraine does, which is sad. Okay, and we're gonna like, again, like, I don't even think our deck has a terrible matchup against the opponent's deck. It's just, you know, a little tedious.
Deliver us to victory.
He says before his opponent draws 5 mana Niv. Yeah, and the other problem, and this is kind of a fundamental problem with Standard, is that if you think about how Standard currently works, Eldraine is a set in the current Standard format that that's legal for 24 months, whereas something like Strixhaven only gets to be legal for 18 months. So when you have a set like Eldraine that like lords over things, it gets to hang out for even longer, which makes it feel worse. Oh good, we're getting Draw Step K commanded here. Glint-Sleeve Siphoner is gonna die. That doesn't really matter though, because Ajani just like ticks down and picks her back up. Got me. Adversary, listen chat, all I'm going to say is, you can tell that the Niv Mizzet deck is the bad guy deck in the format, because Ajani was only adverse to Tyrants. So whoever our opponent currently is very clearly not the hero. They're the tyrant of the story. Otherwise, Ajani wouldn't be playing against them. Ajani's been very, like, this set has shown off the strength of Ajani for sure.
Look how far you've come.
Alright, don't Clary on me, Daddy. Don't do it. Please concede. Binding. So they have to Binding Spellbinder, and they're almost dead on board. Yeah, Supreme Verdict's coming eventually, press a pick. It's an RTR. I mean, we're 2-1. This deck keeps up with the control decks, chat. I'd prefer to play against some creature decks, but you're not just dead against the control decks. Yeah, they're gonna get Verdict and Bring to Light in the opponent's archetype eventually. Two very big upgrades. You can play Clarion if you don't have Anger or Sweltering Suns. unfortunate that this is a pathway. I think I gotta just play it on white and not cast this on one. Nah, I think 3 mana Dovin's just too slow, Ganon. I think if you want more of a Planeswalker, I'd play more 4 mana Karn, but I don't really think that you want that. I think you want that effect. Watch this be 5-color Niv, but they're playing Time Wipe, so they can't play a companion. Come on, fetch a Plains. Nope, just Teamer. Okay. Time Wipe is greedy. Listen, chat. You play decks like that to thrive on the greed. Hey, look, it's not Niv, but it's probably another control deck. Oh, they could be Marvel, right? All right, so we know what they're playing, so we can concede. We're dead. This is not a grindy Ajani matchup. Reidane's pretty decent. These are good because they exile Marvel. They don't always hit on the first try. No, Marvel does not count as a control deck. Ooh, that's a good thought. Archon stops them from, like, activate Marvel, cast a spell with it, which gives us a window to Skyclave them. I like that. Or trim Inquisition, because it doesn't take their combo card. Okay, so we take Harnessed Lightning, and then next turn we take Anger. Can we just try and kill them before they can activate Marvel? Yep, and they're chumping because they think they're going to get to Anger next turn. They're going to get to Anger next turn. I'm gonna play this out to encourage them to pull the trigger. We'll get to draw a card and hopefully have some follow-up next turn. Vic, thanks for the 19 months. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. I'm gonna block because the block makes them not want to anger. That's fine for us. Feels like we're dead, huh? Yeah. Mana's a scotch awkward again, but Glint-Sleeves will let us draw some cards. We've got 2 castables. Keep this on the play in the dark. Oh, you know what? I played the wrong land on one. So, if I play this on one, I could have waited to decide what side I wanted to play this on 2, and then I could have played the swamp that I'd drawn, and then played this on white turn 3. For the Star Trek promo, the ticker is only for new players, so if there's someone that hasn't checked out the Star Trek Fleet Command before, you can do so using my link or by scanning the QR code there on stream. I do not get metrics directly from Coalescence about how often my code gets used, no. It gets used enough that they continue to pay me money. Enters a value, exile all creatures through less cast spells. Weird. I guess we'll get rid of this. There is a Picard thing going on today. We added Picard and a second character to the game. What's the second one's name? I'm blanking on it. Wesley Crusher and Picard were added to the Fleet Command game. Now we can play around Settle when it's face up. So, I'm trading Glint-Sleeve for Selfless Savior here. But it also gives me energy, so that way this gets to draw another card next turn that's surviving. Is the opponent playing green-white control? It certainly seems like it, huh? I mean, their attack here is fine for us, right? Because it means that we get to attack with our Glint-Sleeve Siphoner and make another power. This Glint-Sleeve is very menacing, chat. for the 19 months, Urvik. Welcome back. So they can idle to get back Just Savior, but that doesn't seem very good. This card's probably not terrible when you're playing against these mono removal decks. Glint-Sleeve getting to punch the clock and go to work here.
We stand together. You are capable of more than you assume.
Hear that, chat? You're capable of much. She's very scary. You cannot block her, Bishop. She's spooky. Do you think, is menacing scary or is it mean? Do you think she's scary or mean, chat? Big mean girl energy? Could be scary as well with that sleeve. Settle this. No, you settle down. Have a 9-mana Settle the Wreckage, chat. See, chat? This is why you don't play around Settle the Wreckage. It costs 9 mana, and it's basically unplayable. Pay your taxes, chat. Imagine she shouts boo as she attacks. Yep. Alright, so I think the discard spells come out here. I just want a bunch of cards that play to the board. I'm going to trim a couple of Thalias. They don't have any non-creature spells. We have Spellbinder still to tag, settle, and we have this to make it more expensive. We might play around Settle the Wreckage on occasion in the post-board game, depending on what our board state looks like. It's probably wrong to play around it in a lot of spots, but if we can afford to and we've seen that they have it, there's some consideration to playing around it. Well, so my sideboard was 0 out of 15. What you were seeing there on that screen was my top board. So the sideboard on the side didn't have any cards in it, but my top board had 15 when we finished. So Arena is technically correct. Don't you try and criticize Magic Arena. Magic Arena is doing its best with the cards it's been dealt, chat. Some of you naysayers at home would tell me that that's a bug. I would tell you that that's very clearly an immersive feature. What are you doing over there? Show me your secrets. Destroy target tapped creature. No, I don't think you will. They are, in fact, a collected company deck, chat. Confirmed collected company deck. I'm gonna play with fire here a little bit and assume that their collected company's not gonna be super consistent, he says before his opponent puts 2 very good creatures into play. If I had Ajani an attack for 10, could I get into trouble? Do I need to remove this, or can I Ajani attack for 10? What's the permutation of cards that punish me? They go like land, company into a bunch of stuff. The company means I gotta get rid of it, right? Yep, and they hit the Coco mana, so yeah, it's definitely the right play. This forces them to pull the trigger on company before we attack. While we still have Vanishing Verse up here. Silencer would force them to, but then I can't hold Vanishing Verse up. I like creature matchups. The back and forth in creature matchups was nice. But it was a little slow that game. I mean, to be fair, they needed something like Skyclave Apparition, right? Just 2 creatures wasn't good enough. And even then, like I don't even know if they had outs, right? They needed like, if they had double Skyclave Apparition, they could like take my 3/1s, but then I still kill them with the Vanishing Verse, I think. 5-color div is a creature, that's true. Yeah, it is Precipic. Modern is a much more board-centric format than Historic is at the moment. Oh, Collected Company. So, chat, it's a meme on this channel with a lot of the regulars at this point that we should add Collected Company to everything because people always recommend it. And I kid you not, I had someone unironically in the Vampires video from yesterday suggest that our 18-hit Vampire deck should splash for Collected Company. And then when someone in response to their comment tried to explain to them that that was mathematically unsound, the person who suggested it started swearing and name-calling, became very belligerent. It was honestly, it was impressive. Yeah, that person no longer has the ability to comment on my YouTube channel. They've been shadow banned. No, the comment is no longer there. I have removed the comment and the person's ability to... Actually, I might have left the original up. I definitely got rid of their name-calling and swearing and removed their ability to post future comments, but... I might have left the original comment up, I don't recall. The blue-white auras deck is just pretty linear. It tries to get underneath the... Honestly, our games with our discard spells against these control decks kind of highlight why blue-white is probably where you want to be against the control decks in this format, because they just have so many cards that are the same. You'd much rather have things like Savior that play to the board and protect your threats. Skyclave, looking pretty good here. Vanishing Verse over the sideboard will also be excellent post-board here, obviously. Yeah, I think Miscast is a very reasonable card. Ooh, they could have a dive down here, he said, before remembering Thalia was in play. Yeah, I think Blue-White Tempered Steel is super reasonable as well. Modern was decent. We played Black-Green Infect. Felt very reasonable. I feel like I probably need to see another exile effect to beat this Adanto. We'll see though. It's very possible that these Skyclaves let us race in the air. Or these Spellbinders let us race in the air, especially alongside Blinkmoth. Like, next turn I get to play second plus Knight, and then I can start attacking. Take their all that glitters here. Yeah, and the Spellbinders will make it so they can't attack and block with this as freely, right? We'll eventually get to add up in that department. I'll take this hit for now, though, I think. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to turn this into Boros Charm. What if we Spellbinder... What if we Spellbinder Cartouche and then Silencer the Adanto? I like it. Does have first strike. I'm gonna take 5. Then I get to attack for 8 in the air next turn, plus play a Knight. Yeah, we need to dodge a flying aura here. I mean, if they spike the flying enchantment, can I win the game anymore? I can't, right? Because they're gonna have blockers. I just can't race anymore. This says vigilance. I think we just smack them for 8. That's great, Mask. I'll never, like, it's so wild, like, the fact that, like Breath of the Wild, people that defend things like that, it's so weird to me that people just can't say, I like the current weapon system, but I can understand how it's frustrating to other people. That's all it takes, right? Like, I'm not telling people, like that topic yesterday, I'm not telling people they couldn't like it. I'm just saying I don't. Let's not get back into that can of worms. Do you want to hear me rant about Breath of the Wild and weapon durability? Watch yesterday's Black-White Vampires. I think if you want to play a wide variety of weapons, you could do that anyways, though. And if you have a psychological problem or block that means the game has to make you do that, that's on you. You shouldn't punish me because of your psychological issues. I have not played Phoenix Rising yet. I've heard good things about that. Heard it's very Breath of the Wild-esque, but with the ability to not have your weapons break constantly. I bought it on sale at one point and it's in my queue to get to. Punishing people for my psychological issues is all I know. It's funny because it's sad. What are we throwing under a bus here? Probably Knight of the Ebon Legion. Although it looks like they're disconnected, huh? That's unfortunate. We're having a good game here. So this afternoon, we're going to be doing a sponsored segment for Star Trek. We're going to be playing some more Fleet Command for a couple hours at the end of the stream today. And then Sunday, I'm taking off. I'm off Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. On Sunday, we'll be starting the new Ratchet & Clank. Is it reasonable now against the Control decks? I think Ajani is just better than Gideon against the Control decks. Serves a similar role while also generating card advantage. Gideon was decent against the Control decks. It like dodges sweepers, but it doesn't generate card advantage. Is the core issue with it. All right, so Reidane's not very good here. Ajani's not very good here. This is not a matchup about card advantage. I'm gonna trim a Blinkmoth. Something you'll see me do quite frequently in the 26 land build of this deck is I trim a land, especially when we're on the draw, especially when I'm trimming my top end. So like, for example, I would not trim a land when I'm boarding in the second Angel and having some 5s. How is the Control DLC? If I'm being honest, the Control DLC kind of soured me on the game as a whole. I did not finish Foundations, and I didn't bother to try with the second one, because the Foundations was just bad. Maybe we trim some discard spells here. One of the biggest fundamental issues with Control from a gameplay perspective is that it doesn't do a good job. It doesn't do a good job directing you towards where you need to be going on the map. And the cavernous areas where we were at, it made that much worse. I heard other people say that the second DLC was better, but honestly, the first one just soured me on the whole experience. I don't really want to touch it. So I'm not going to be finishing that game. We finished the main game. I'm not finishing the first DLC or touching the second. I've also told the second DLC is like a weird random tie-in to a game from like half a decade ago that I'm also not intending to play because old games tend to not age particularly well. This hand's great. Put it mulliganed and then conceded. Okie doke. This Deadguy Ale's still competitive. I would like more creature matchups like this one, but you're not just dead into the Control matchups either. Yeah, I just like the map was so bad. Here's how bad the map was. The map in Control was so bad that I looked up a game guide and still couldn't finagle how to maneuver where we were supposed to go to get to the last place we were going. Yeah, and like I mostly play games for like the story part, and like the first DLC in Control is just like the story was non-existent. It was mostly just like point and click with some puzzly type things, and the puzzles weren't good enough to be worth continuing to play. Yeah, Duress! Suck it. Metagame this, opponent. Alright, what am I naming with Silverquill Silencer? Heartless Act? Let's name Heartless Act. Ooh, they're not. I put them on the snow-covered swamp. I put them on mono black, and they are very clearly not mono black. Our hand's still pretty good, though. Last of Us is on my backlog. I bought that one on sale, too. What are we naming here? Just Dreadhorde Arcanist that they drew to hand? Evolving Wilds. Interesting mana-based decisions here. I wonder if they're intentional or budget. I wonder how many mountains they have, too, because there's a mountain in their bin now. At least one more. Yeah, Control. The fact that Control expects you to read a bunch too also was a little middling. Like, it was a fine game, but like, if people ask you like, Jeff, does it make any of my top lists for anything? It just doesn't. I don't think it did. Like, I guess it's like, if there was a weird niche category for X-Files adjacent, it's the best X-Files adjacent game I've played, but like, that's pretty niche. Best games Jeff has played titled Control. And it looks like my opponent's going to have done enough damage to themselves here that our pressure is going to be enough here. They're going to get to kill something, and then... Ooh! They killed the one on Heartless Act, which would imply that they have one of those in hand. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, my opponent. All right, so something I always like to point out, because it's something that's not super intuitive to newer players, is that when you are playing these discard-based mirror matches, you should always cut your discard spells post-board. And the reasoning is very simple. Look at this board state and look at what mattered at the end of the game. While a single discard spell is decent early, the games always boil down to board states like this on one side or the other, where the things that matter are what's in play. And while a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition feels great to cast on turn 1, you're going to need to have cards that play to the board in the mid to late game. Something like Elite Spellbinder gets a small pass in this arena because it is an evasive threat that can apply pressure, so I will keep these in here because even if they're empty-handed, this is a discard spell that plays to the board. Yes, Horizon. Normally, I don't play games like right as soon as they come out. We're going to be playing Horizon Forbidden West on release day, whenever that is. And we'll probably have, I expect it'll be a long game, so we'll play it for a little while. But like, the release day and the day after, I'm probably going to do an all variety stream day. Because Horizon's probably one of the best original IPs to come out in the last decade. It's so good. Yeah, hopefully that hits this fall. Hopefully it releases this fall. You know, I'm going to keep the Ajani. I'm going to bottom the Silverquill Silencer. Johnny's pretty good if we get to live to stick it. D-Back, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. How does Thalia interact with Arcanist? They have to pay 1 mana. So it doesn't prevent the Arcanist from casting the spells, but it does mean that they have to pay 1 when they cast it from the bin. What do we think of Silverquill Silencer, name Fatal Push? Because that's like the removal spell they could play this turn, right? Key command. Hopefully Dark Alliance is good. If I'm being... Oh, I should have played the Blinkmoth Nexus there. If I'm being completely honest, after how Magic Legends turned out, I have low optimism for anything Wizards IP related. Magic Legends did a lot of damage to their IP. No, I don't think the Orb side of Reidane is worth keeping in against their Culligan's command deck. How bad was Magic Legends? However bad you think Magic Legends was in your head, trust me, it's worse. Did Day 9's recap on Magic Legends get posted to his YouTube? Because there was a delightful, just like, full thrashing on his part. Did it? If anybody can link Day 9's review if it's on his YouTube channel, put that in chat for people that haven't seen it. Oh man. Are they gonna claim the Firstborn, pump my knight, kill my Ajani, sack it to village rights? Because that would be disgusting. Dear opponent, please take a series of plays that not the one I just described. All right. This one. This one. What are the odds they play a sweeper, chat? Thanks.
I will lend you my strength.
Man, Ajani has really gotten to flex so far today, huh? He's been sweet. I waffled back and forth for a little bit on like what 4-drop I wanted to play. Like we tried Rankle and we tried what's his name? We tried the Aetherborn idiot Uganti. I definitely like 4-mana Ajani as that slot though. Definitely my favorite. Applies pressure but also generates card advantage. Less good against aggro than something like Gonti, but that's fine. You just board it out and play your angels there. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known. Should have known. Should have known again. Do 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 do. Milady here is gonna look my blue opponent in the eye and let them know that things are not okay. Skyclave Apparition, very bad in this matchup. God, am I supposed to put these in the sideboard? There's just been so many matchups today where I'm just like, well, Skyclave sucks here. Probably Locust God combo. A lot of these decks have been playing Teamer and they're turning into Coma. Is what they're doing. But you're right, they could be doing something. They could Locust God plus Sage of the Whatevers. is infinite things, but it requires you to have 2 targets for creativity. Yeah, the Pact of Negation implies that they're potentially something more all-in, is a good read. Well, that was not the land I wanted for Christmas, but it is at least a castable spell. Oh, I'd like the record to reflect that my deck is playing 26 lands, because I'm not some kind of heathen like the rest of you Magic players that hate casting your spells. We gotta take the Shark Typhoon here. Why didn't they pact us? They probably didn't want to pay 1 for Thalia. I can't remember what I was trying to cast this turn. Maybe we'll remember next turn. I have no idea, Cam. If the opponent backs us, they'd lose. They can't pay the upkeep. That's the joke. Anyone in chat have an opinion on Modern Dredge? Oh, chat would love to give you opinions. I don't know that they'll be healthy or useful opinions, but I'm sure they have them. Dredge stinks? I mean, Golgari Grave Troll could maybe stand to shower a little bit more often, but it's a little rude to say it stinks outright. Okay, so if they're on Chameleon, they're going to take 3 to play Indomitable Creativity, and then this could maybe kill them in 2 turns in the air. He said before, remembering that Coma can tap this. Probably dead. Oh, they didn't make a treasure. You're right. That is weird. Strange. Are they not on Coma then? Oh, I wonder if they are on... They must be on the Forgotten Gods. They must be on the Locust God combo then, right? That's what that has to mean. I feel like if they were on a 1-card creativity combo, they would have just made the token there, right? I have objective opinions, and I take offense to that. Oh, Hoglandia, you're great. You're great, Hoglandia. I don't believe half the things Reddit says about you. Man, I was about to type the circle jerk command in, but then 3 people beat me to it, so... we joke, we joke. I'm assuming from this long tank, we're not about to get Sweltering Suns. So that's nice. Wow, they did have the big tank. Guess they just weren't sure what to put back up. That's unfortunate. Hopefully we draw a land for Ajani here. Untapped land, please. Nailed it. It's even a land that we can power up next turn, too, which is great. Oh, it's going to get back to negation. We might get back to negation here. M'lady. Man, what are the odds we get double Stone Rained by a Prismari command next turn? My dojo does not contain fear, chat.
Be strong.
Be strong. Okie doke. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they're on, like, the old time. I wonder if they're creativitying out Gear Hulks. That was something we saw for a little bit. Oh no, this just, oh, they are on the combo and they get us, right? We're one turn short. So, for people that haven't seen this, confirmed on the combo, the Pact of Negation implied that. So these two loop, and they now make as many 1/1s with haste as they have cards in their deck. So obviously we are dead. Skyclave Apparition. Looking real bad there. Vanishing Verse technically interacts with their combo. Skyclave out. I guess this interacts with their combo under the right situations too. This thing's only another 2/5. That's pretty big. A more fair combo deck, kinda. Is it actually decent? I mean, there's a reason why it was a lot less popular than... There's a reason why it was less popular than the alternatives, right? Yeah, they play one god, one stage of the things, and they have to hit both of them. They have to have two targets. It's a little bit harder to put together, but it kills deterministically when it pops off. How much Magic Arena are we playing today? Another half hour or so, and then we're gonna wrap up with Star Trek. I'm planning to just play this deck today. It's been decent, and we're technically out of stream queue submissions at the moment. I think I had one last night that's gonna get added that we'll play on Sunday, but queue's mostly empty, so we're just gonna chill and have a long set with Deadguy. Because I like Deadguy, chat. So, Reidane insulates us from a top deck, but Spellbinder's better against their interaction. Spellbinder applies more pressure, too. I think I'm keeping Spellbinder. I mean, part of the goal of having the price of deck submissions be higher was so we'd have fewer deck submissions. Like today was the first time we've done deck voting in like a week and a half because we've had a ton of submissions. It's not strictly a bad thing for the queue to be low so we can do some deck voting. That being said, I do like money, and I would take your submission. I mean, it's not really awkward drawing Locust God or Sage with 4 Brainstorms and other things in your deck. Yeah, both Strixhaven and Historic Anthology 5 kept the deck submissions really high. I take a Naya Featherrun back? Yeah, definitely. Did I tell you that one made it up on the website, Corgi? Ended up putting that one up there. I'm gonna take Anger, because it's the best against my pressure. In peak Wizards of the Coast decision-making, Morrow confirmed a couple months ago that the D&D set explicitly would not revisit the party mechanic. Because WotC. I agree with you for reference that that would be an ideal thing to have happen. What are your thoughts on the Marvel deck? You know, I don't have any experience playing with or against it, really. We played against it for the first time today, but I don't really know how it lines up into things. It's exhausting, chat. Alright, so we take that, and I'm gonna do this and take their Prismari command and hope that they brick for a turn or two. It's just like... It's just like this deck kills me in a different way than the other deck, but like, it's not Niv Mizzet or Teferi, but it's still just like a pile of fucking sweepers and misery, right? The format's gotten so samey. Alright. This one's got a little turd on top of the poop sundae instead of a little bit of vomit, but it's still a poop sundae. Yeah, like, take your brainstorms, your expressive iterations, pack some sweepers, maybe some lightning helixes. What deck do we need to keep sweepers.deck in check? They just need to be less consistent. The brainstorms and the expressive iterations need to go. The problem isn't the inherent play patterns of the deck, it's that they get to execute those play patterns more consistently than everything else. It means you just can't keep up. Yes! Gruul! Fuck, chat, Gruul's the good guy, aren't they? How far this format has fallen, Gruul is the good guy. For the record, Mana Symbol, I think including Brainstorm in Historic was a worthwhile experiment. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I think it was reasonable to try Brainstorm in this format because we'd never seen a format without fetch lands with Brainstorm in it before. So I named Gruul Spellbreaker with this to encourage them to play Questing Beast this turn, so that way next turn I can go Inquisition plus Glint-Sleeve and still have something for the Inquisition to take. So this got to dictate their sequencing at least here. And if we find a white source, this answers this. And again, like, this is such a good example of, right, like I have sequencing decisions here and they feel meaningful and they matter. It's not just like, oh, all of these cards suck. There's 6 removal spells and 3 sweepers and none of my choices add up or matter. Easy block. Untapped white, please. So, I know Questing Beast currently beats Protector Shield, but my out is Skyclave Apparition, the Questing Beast. So, this means if I hit my out of getting rid of this, I'm better insulated to maybe survive as the game goes longer. And my opponent didn't realize how their card worked with my card, so we saved a point of damage there. And then unfortunately we drew a tap land. So it didn't matter. Yeah, it helps us save us from like stomp and stuff. So discard spells come out here. We'll board in a bunch of cards that play to the board. Hey, thanks for the 29 months, Camboni Machine. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Probably board out all the discard spells, actually. They still have to pay an extra for Stomp, though. Chat. It still helps. Chat, it helps. It helps. Every little bit helps. So I guess Thalia's not good. Yeah, I'm going to leave an Inquisition rather than Thalia. A matchup where the Angels are ideal. Would Archon be bad to slow them down? Archon, how does Archon slow them down? Can you articulate on that point for me? Because I don't understand what you're saying. Lord Odin, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. Yeah, Inquisition looks real reasonable here, right? Hey, sounds good, Duress. I will get back to you about your submission this evening. Well, with that draw, we get to go ahead and push this off a cliff and then name Girl Spellbreaker here. Man, you people that hit the deck limit in Magic Arena are wild. I play a ton of different decks here on stream, and I never get close to hitting that limit. Clean your room, chat. It's messy. 70 decks is plenty. You can't make me, but I know where everything is. Yeah, I bet. I bet you do. Yeah, close your browser tabs. Whenever I use my wife's phone, and like I have to open the web browser, the little square where it tells you how many tabs you have open, I kid you not, it just has a smiley face in it. Because Google knows, chat. Google knows. And the smiley face happens at over 100. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, and because I haven't personally attacked enough people with browser tabs and a number of decks in your editor, empty your inbox too, chat. Your inbox shouldn't have 5 digits worth of unread emails in it. Fix that. This is officially a personal attack stream now. How do you people live? 5 digits, those are rookie numbers. My email currently has 11 unread messages in it, and 7 of those messages I received while I was live today, and they'll get cleaned out when I'm done. The tap lands feel a little bad. Yeah, no joke. And honestly, the inbox thing, one of the good things that GDPR did in the EU was it forced all these online places to give you easy unsubscribe options. If I get an automatic email from a place and I delete it without opening it 2 times, I open it the second time and I go and I unsubscribe. Huge quality of life increase. How do we feel about passing with Flunk up here? We pass with Flunk up and then we can Vanishing Verse plus push next turn. I think I like it. Jigo, thanks for the follow. Is it Jig Oat or G Goat? See, these are the questions I'll always have to wonder on chat because there's no camel casing on this username. Okay, so now we Vanishing Verse the Pelt Collector, and then we push this, Flunk this. Oh, and they didn't haste it. That's so good. What is camel casing? Camel casing is like wait there or my name, where each individual word is capitalized at the start. It's a programming term. For people that are new to the channel, like Andy Awesome there. In a former life before I was a full-time meme here on Twitch, I did some software development. I think we just push this off a cliff and keep our life total high and their odds of leaving us low. Man, do they have a stomp and they just didn't use it? Does they have a bunch of 4-drops? They have like a braids and stuff in their hand? Show me your secrets. Yikes. Okay, so I'm gonna take Chandra. Actually, do I take one of their removal spells so I can play another card and then they can't double spell this turn? I think that's the play, right? I think it's take a castable and force them to just not be resource efficient this turn. Yeah, most of their untapped lands are green though. Yeah, I think I like this. We just gotta try it. Like their hand has more power in it than ours, so I think we gotta try and like get them off tempo here. That Savai Triome was supposed to be a spell. A chance that Savai Triome was supposed to be cycled. I usually want 5 lands. I've got Baneslayer and Lyra in my deck right now, so it's probably supposed to be a land. currently winning the race on board. Did you find land number 4? It's pretty good. Pretty good. Well, we get to draw an extra card next turn. Hopefully it's a good one. It's a damn shame this Spellbreaker has hexproof, huh? One of your finest angels, please. Definitely feeling bad about the Triome. I think it was correct to play, but, you know, magic happens sometimes. Angel next turn could still win us the game. Yep. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, my opponent had a bunch of bombs in their hand there, so, like, we were flooding, but, like, them drawing lands is, like, also good for them. We needed explicitly spells. Yeah, the public app works very well. It's kind of like a mix of, you know, there's other like Robinhood and various other mobile investing apps, but it adds a social component tied into it. So if you have other people that you talk about investing stuff with, you can follow them actively on there and see what they're doing and chat about it. Kind of ties in like the Reddit message boards and stuff like that, where people coordinate and talk about investing things. You get $10 in free stocks if you install on there using my thing. Using the F2K Jeff Hoagland link. Yorion, eh? It's been a while since I played against a Noodle. I've seen some Niv decks that play Noodle as well. Herald of Anguish is a build-around submission. No, I don't think so. I don't think that card's particularly competitive. Do I invest? I have a Roth IRA through Edward Jones, and I have the house that I'm currently streaming from. I am not educated or informed enough or want to keep up enough to make individual investment decisions on my own time. Thalia making this just be sorcery speed anticipate here is nice. They can't get their third land off of it. Yeah, I told you, chat. They're probably a control deck. This is just a free 8th card in the control mirror. Yeah, they're straight up just Jeskai control. Okay, so I just named Deafening Clarion with the Silverquill Silencer and then, like, move all in here, right? Just try and kill them before they can get set up. Could you make an 80-card Yorion Deadguy deck? I mean, you could, but you probably shouldn't. If you want to play 80-card Yorion midrange, you should check out the red-white Yorion deck we played last week. It was really sweet. It was kind of like red-white midrange, but with Showdown of the Skalds in the main. And it played Yorion to blink them for value. Worked out really well. Had a decent set. Decent matchup against the other control things in the format, too, with Yorion and Showdown. Yeah, Thalia's very good against these cantrips. She's a card that punishes these cantrip heavy things that these decks do. Are they dead? Pretty close to it, right? I haven't counted. Let's attack. Yeah, and even if they had a sweeper that beats this, Blinkmoth kills them. Thalia and Reidane are additive. So if you have Thalia and Reidane out, Wrath of God costs 7. Honestly, Archon's probably decent here. Puts their lands into play tapped. I'm gonna be greedy and trim a land here. These games go long and I don't want to flood. No, it does not work that way. A card that Thalia has increased the cost of still has the same mana value as printed in the corner. So a card that Thalia is taking from 3 to 4 still has a mana value of 3, and thus Reidane does not impact it. Reidane said, if a card has mana value 4 or more, it costs 2 more if it's a non-creature. Yeah, mana value and mana cost are different, is the important distinction there. Perks and paper, it does. Yeah, let's keep them. Tap Castle's kind of sad, but I don't have a 2-drop right now anyways. Castle's a pretty decent card, the control matchup in general, though. Nice. Now we go Thoughtseize into Tap Clan, Thoughtseize into Spellbinder. So they don't currently have a blue source. So I'm going to take this Magma Opus, then I'm going to tilt out of my chair when they top deck the blue land next turn. You just can't make this shit up, chat. You just can't make this shit up. What are they going to do, Lapse the Thoughtseize? It's not like another discard spell. I don't need another discard spell at this point. Oh. Well, this is good for me. This means I get to Spellbinder their Shark Typhoon, which is excellent for us. Thanks, opponent. Appreciate you. I would like the record to reflect that sliding out of my chair there hurt my back a little bit, but it was worth it for my art. It did hurt, but I also have no regrets. In a very physically demanding profession, some injury is expected. Nice 10 mana Sky Noodle, opponent. You let me know how that's doing for you over there. All right, and then we just name Sky Noodle with this one, right? I didn't play out the Knight, because when they top deck the Sweeper here, I want to not be sad. This is lethal.
You do not have to fight alone.
My body is ready to get Torrential Gearhult.
Deliver us to victory.
$80 cards, chat. When do they have it? Always. I mean, to be fair, Knight of the Ebon Legion is a fantastic follow-up to getting Settle the Wreckage. Like, no joke, right? Archon turns off Gearhulk here, which is great.
You are capable of more than you assume.
Do I push 3, leaving a window for Knight to die to Helix? Yeah, I think so. I can pick it back up if they kill it. The Ajanis are really good, chat. This is I am confident that this is the card you want in this slot for its role. This set has been a clinic in why Ajani Adversary of Tyrants is the 4-drop card advantage we want. All right, what's your last card? Hey chat, you see Milady here? Milady here says no Magma Opus for you, friendo. Enjoy your 5/6. All right, 7. I can't pump this twice, so it's not lethal.
Look how far you've come.
So I think I only attack with this because they could eat Thalia otherwise. I guess I have second Thalia. Maybe I'm supposed to attack with both. I have second Thalia. This makes Settle the Wreckage uncastable. It makes it cost 7 with Thalia in play. Still dead, right?
Strength.
So, it was nice of this. So, that Jeskai opponent, really, if you think about it, did us a solid. They took their hyper-consistent Jeskai deck that's full of cantrips and card selection, and instead turned it into this 80-card monster that has none of those things. So, I'm pretty happy with this list. I'm pretty sure this is card for card what's on the website. He could maybe I'll double check that. I think one change you could justify making is maybe you put 2 of the Skyclaves in the board and you put the 2 Archons in the main deck. Because Archon's just better in these control and these combo matchups. And it says a lot about where Historic is at as a format right now, that Skyclave Apparition is potentially not a 4x main deck card. It talks about how little playing to the board there is that's a thing that's going on. So, yeah. At any rate,